New Taipei City, 2009, 3 years old. The sizzling sounds of teppanyaki, the amazing aroma from exotic food, and the colorful array of stands all along the road. That was the Taiwanese night market. It could be a paradise for many of you, but it was a nightmare for me. I was 3 years old when I almost died for the first time. Peanut allergies. I opened a can of Skippy peanut butters and I wanted to add that on my pork chow noodles because it seemed to taste so good. So I did it the Bill Nye the Science Guy way, the chemistry way. I waved my hand, get the aroma around my nose, and suddenly my throat tightened. My breath labored. My body collapsed. I was sent into the hospital straight into the ICU, and that was memorable. And moving on, anything too cold, too hot, too spicy, too sugary, too sour, excited by nerves because I have tics or Tourette syndrome, sometimes happening on the face, and also nasal rhinitis, which gets runny nose all over the place. And that was not a pleasure. So that was my toxic, and is my toxic relationship with food. And this problem leads to the death about 5,000 times the audience here today. So my speech is going to be about you. It's about you and your friends and your families. Good afternoon. I'm Harrison. I'm a food entrepreneur, a United Nations youth delegate, and a published author on moral and ethics. Today, I'll be sharing with you 4 stories and my 4 takeaways in social entrepreneurship of food safety. And as my friends call it, the guy who plans to turn allergies into his entire career. So, let's now step outside the box and take a better look at the issue. Now, we see many countries here. The States, China, India, Indonesia. What do they have in common? These are countries with big populations. And as you can see, they face food safety issues in all different aspects. Now, these countries face issues. What about us? What issue do we have? Now, let me take you through and let's identify it together. So now imagine you're walking to the supermarket or just getting to your dining hall and you get your menu or product list. On the left, you got the ingredients. On the right, you got the calories. Everything is perfect. No fraud records, no false negatives, very unlikely. But that's the way it is. Doesn't that sound great and sound amazing to you? Everything is safe. This meal ain't gonna kill you. But what's the problem here? Now, here's the thing. Food does not come to you in final forms. Food is processed, it's transported, it's handled, it's cooked, and then you eat it. So are you really sure that the food that you eat is not contaminated at all throughout that process? Are you sure that those teeny tiny bacteria, toxins, and heavy metal ions that you can't see won't be present in your food? I don't believe so. So that is our urgent problem at hand. Now, that is a scientific problem. So what do? We find a scientific solution. See a problem, find a solution. Now, this went back all to freshman year because, we were in pandemic times and I didn't really have much to do. So I was just looking around and something caught my eye. It was called a food pathogen biosensor. Well, sounds great, doesn't it? You can use it anywhere, anytime, it's affordable. But why don't we have it in our houses? What about our expired food? What do we do about them? Throw it away? Is that really the best option? So, as you can see, here's the logo of a hand with Lotus, our brand for the biosensor. It means food in a greener world. At the Food and Health Institute, we're trying to make something that is an innovative culinary technology, and that's why we call it ColiNova. This technology, in essence, is a biosensor that you can use to detect harmful things in food. Pathogens anywhere, anytime. So on that note, I want to share a little bit more about this biosensor prototype at ICEF and how it came into reality. How do we use such a complex device that seems to do so many things? 3 steps, very simple. You have a food, you add it into the reagent, that's second, and you put it onto the electrode piece, which is the integral center of detection, third steps. 3 steps, it's just that simple. Complex lab technologies into a simple device. That is called innovation. But when we talk about innovation, it's such a big idea. What do we even do about it, right? It's Well, let me break it for you. Let me add a disclaimer. Experiments are not easy. You fail 9 times, and maybe you succeed once. So here I want to share a story about back before ISEF. And I was trying to make my prototype for a common bacteria, Salmonella, many of you guys know, causing diarrhea in our tummies. And the problem was that for Salmonella detection, I needed antigens and antibodies. The problem is antibodies weren't coming through because no flights were coming through between US and China. And so without the antibodies, my antigen sat in storage like fine wine, and there was nothing I could do about it. I was confused, I was broke, it was a tough time. So I had to find a solution, another problem, another solution. Now, I looked to one risky approach. It's a type 1 carcinogen called aflatoxin, often appearing in peanuts, surprisingly. And I took that approach. It was only 4 weeks before my presentation, so I worked day to night, going through the trials and errors, and something clicked. It worked. And so after that, the reagents arrived. I did it for the bacteria. I designed a system for the heavy metals. And now, what do we have? The 3 top killers in food all integrated into one device. What's the point here? The thing is, uncertainty comes all along our journey. No matter if it's experiment or not, they may be for the good or bad. It's about how we respond to them. And in this case, without the shipment delay, we may have never seen this biosensor that we see here today. Now that was the tech gap. What about the other problems? Now, in our society, the pace changes very fast. In our century, machine learning and artificial intelligence are the key terms. Why? Because they are the epitomes of our 4th industrial revolution. What does that mean? They either help you or they replace your job. It's just that simple. Well, that's why we created SafePlate, a healthy eating app that utilizes that exact technology. But don't worry, it's not here to replace your job. It's here to make your job experience and your daily life more safe and sound. So at SafePlate, what do we do really special from, say, Apple Health or the other apps that are in the market? Well, we aim to build a community. The first step, we allow users to identify the problems. Our members from over 40 countries submit these articles, and we welcome users to share their own. We value this diversity in opinion because then we know what problems exist. Second of all, we validate the problem. 2 types of scanners, one for packaged foods and the other for non-packaged foods. So the way it works is that you take a scan and a snap, and it tells you the ingredients and the calories and the health risks that are associated with it. So it's kind of like those, plant identifying mini programs where you take a picture of the plant, the species, and you put an expert botanist. And now you are your own expert nutritionist. Last step of the day, analyze the problem. We offer a chatbot technology that's dedicated to food safety, and you can ask anything about it. So with the detection results, ask this 120 IQ AI, and it tells you your daily diet and your solution to the problem. So that's just simple as that. You find the problem, you validate the problem, you solve the problem. And that's when uncertainty comes into place, where that uncertain change in society is something that we have to adapt to, because often it can lead to surprising results. Now, let's take a mid-time break because it's been a while. So take a sip of coffee. Now, we talk about science and tech and all those big ideas that exist in our world. What I want to tell you is that our world itself is uncertain. So now, I invite you all to close your eyes, just for a moment. I want you to picture this in your minds. A young kid, a youth like our age, beaten into broken bones and fallen rib cages because of their beliefs and orientations. People who chomp in dirt blocks and rotten soup outside in the wild because their farm was destroyed in the war. Now, as we open our eyes, we pay deepest condolences to those who have passed away. But I want to tell you, these are true people and true stories that we deal with every single day. So what's our takeaway from there? It's not just about healthy eating and those big tech ideas and innovations that we have here. It's about people eating full first before even eating healthy. That's the foundation of the problem. So now it becomes one problem to a two-layer problem. How do we solve it? At the Food and Health Institute, a nonprofit that combines these two projects, we set up food drives in Qatar to deliver to Palestine, and also agricultural workshops in Kenya to promote sustainable agriculture practices. We mainly take community awareness and donations into action. That's what's the most powerful tool. And that's how you and I can join together on this journey. That's the first foundation of the problem that we have to get clear with. It's about people eating full. The second layer, the biosensor, the app, and everything that comes afterwards. This is about providing good health for everyone. Now, with these two layers of problems identified, we quickly grew into a team of over 400 talented individuals around 40 countries where we solved the problem together. No matter if it's German East African commerce officials or Stanford PhDs, they see the problem and they know that you find the solution through the process and not from the start. And that is the key takeaway. Because the world is uncertain, and uncertainty is our most valuable assets when it comes to designing smart solutions. Now, onto the greater part of the world. When we want to take things into action, we often want to get in touch with politics, with policy making, and such and such. And because the Food and Health Institute is working with the World Food Forum and Rotary Club, I had the honor to participate in the United Nations Youth Forum this April. But it's hard to break it for you. It was not great. It was two-sided. So, on one hand, we have politicians and national delegates coming in. We have the problem. People talking about this is a problem, sustainable agriculture is a problem, climate change is a problem, hunger is a problem. Where's our solution? That's what we see in COP, that's what we see in UN conferences. Second of all, we use actionable clauses in our so-called solutions, but we don't really carry out any of them. And countries don't submit their progress reports, which means that they don't care at all. Third, people and world leaders say that we have enough time by 2030, by even longer, to reach these goals, but we are out of time. We need that solution immediately. But on the other hand, we have a bright side of hope. So that was a picture of me with the World Oceans Day team and one with the Food and Agriculture team. And we talked about designing new solutions. We connected with farmers. We set up local food drives. We set up tangible impacts for our ideas. And what was our outcome? Together, we designed a hackathon for youth. So anyone who's interested in food waste, food safety, food security, they get to propose their innovative ideas, and we are there to support them, to pass the baton on to others. Now, on that note, let's sum it up, the takeaways. Never doubt yourself in face of uncertainty. Adapt to the uncertainty and challenges. Know what our world is like and clear out your goals and path. Now, in the field of food safety and tech entrepreneurship, healthy eating, healthy diet, it's in your own hands. It's your responsibility, and I hope this 3-in-1 package, app, biosensor, community service, can be beneficial and the strongest backbone to you all. With that, I want to end today's TED event and my speech on a note. To all the youth and the young professionals who are here today, our world is to be determined. Our communities are to be determined. We ourselves are to be determined. But at the same time, we are to be determined. Determined to find that cause that excites you. Determined to go into your journey when other people say that you can't do it, but you can. When you act things differently and think from the outside world. Now, if even a dream for me, like eating a good old Taiwanese 肉丝炸酱面 at night, could become all of this, imagine what your dreams can become. Just skip the peanuts part. Thank you.